If you've seen any of my videos since Baldur's Gate 3 went into early access, it should come as no surprise that I am head over heels in love with this game. To me, it felt too good for last year's Game of the Year discussion. That's too few years in my book. This is a masterpiece. However, even the things we love come with its flaws, at least on a subjective level. Everyone won't love everything in a game as big as this, and some things might not be as well made as the rest of it. And I think these things are important to think about and talk about. Not because it's good to focus on the negative. I think we, as in people on the internet, are way too good at complaining about things. But by examining the flaws and the things we don't like in the things we love, as well as the good things in that which we dislike, I believe we can develop our critical thinking, our ability to see nuance, and in the end, become a little bit smarter. And as anyone who's been around me more than 5 minutes will tell you, I need every bit of smarter that I can find. So let's talk about the few things that I don't like about Baldur's Gate 3. The first thing on this list is our inventory. It's a mess. We pick up so many things. While there is a camp supply pack and an alchemy ingredient pouch, there's still so much stuff in here. Yes, we can send things to camp, and I do, but do that for a while and then go take a look in your traveler's chest. That thing quickly becomes that closet that you never ever open up again because you'd be buried in the avalanche of stuff you've shoved in there. On top of this, I am constantly close to being encumbered, in large part because my food and my books weigh so much. I'm a little torn here. I like that your food has weight. When they introduced camp supplies, they put a cost at long rests, which made you not want to constantly long rest in order to keep your HP and spell slots topped up. So there is an interesting idea of resource management at the core of this system. But like I said, you end up carrying around so much food. I play the game on tactician difficulty, which means that a full rest costs 80 camp supplies instead of 40, and I wish I'd run out of food faster. So this doesn't really become resource management, it just becomes inventory management, and that is a lot less interesting. Next up is companion versus companion disagreements. This is something that I like is in the game, but I wish it had more significance. It's interesting that you end up with a party that's been forced together by a common problem, the tadpole, not because of a common alignment. A party consisting of Karlach, Lae'zel, and Shadowheart would have been unthinkable if it hadn't been for the circumstances they find themselves in. But it never really becomes a problem. Before the full release, the devs talked a lot about how they had rewritten Will, and they teased his conflict with Karlach. The way I remember it being talked about gave me the feeling of, if I don't play my cards right, this could become a big problem for me. And I thought that was kinda cool. But as soon as I recruited Karlach, Will showed up in my camp and was like, "Oi, I got you now, you're evil, yeah?" Karlach was like, "Ugh, no, I'm not, I'm good, I promise." And Will goes, No, I'll never believe you. You can't trick me." And then Tav joins the conversation and says, "Actually, she is pretty good." And then Will goes, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry, Karlach, can you ever forgive me?" To which Karlach responds, "Yay, let's be best friends." There are other companions who disagree with each other, and some of those conflicts are longer and harder to resolve. This one is a bit extreme, yes, but it's still indicative of the problem I have with the subject. The combination of different companions who shouldn't be able to get along with each other but are forced together doesn't result in the chaos you'd expect. It feels like the devs decided that the game shouldn't stop you from combining any companions in your party, almost, which is nice because they're all very interesting. But I do wish the management of those interesting characters would have been more challenging. It feels nitpicky to complain about these companions and the characters and the way they're written because they're all so brilliant. But I guess because these characters and your interactions with them are such a big part of the game, it's only natural that a lot of things we can talk about are about them. And spoilers, it's not the last time this video brings up something about the companions.
Time to die.
This one is short, but why in the hells does this happen? It happens to me all the time. I click somewhere I want my party to go. They start running. Suddenly someone says, "Watch out, a trap." While they all keep running into that trap. I believe that if a character succeeds in a perception check and detects a trap, it should immediately stop moving along with all the other characters that are grouped with it. Not only would this be very convenient for me as a player, but I also find this to be quite immersion breaking. I mean, this just wouldn't happen. Before I move on to the final thing that bugs me, and no, that's not a pun to hint at the last thing being bugs. I played this game so slowly that by the time I reached the later stages of the game, most of those bugs had been ironed out. It's something else, but before we get there, I would just like to say that this is the type of video that becomes infinitely more interesting to upload if I get to hear or read your takes on the matter as well. Whether it be in the comment section below or in my Discord server, there's a link to that in the description. So please let me know what you think, both about what I have to say in this video and if there's something else in the game that isn't to your liking. Who knows, maybe I can get some real time with Paul's lovers come out of hiding again. No, but really, I would love to hear what you guys think. Alright, on to the final thing. The companions in Baldur's Gate 3 are amazing. I would probably say that they're the best thing about the game, and the possibility of romantic relationships with them is great. But there are times where I felt like the relationship with companions start from neutral, then go to friends, and then you can take it to like max level of the relationship by romancing them, and if you choose not to, the relationship kind of plateaus. My tiefling sorcerer decided to engage in a romantic relationship with Karlach. But I also felt very drawn to Shadowheart as a character. I wanted to find out more about her backstory and help her through whatever weird stuff she was going through. So in the Goblin camp after I saved the Druid Grove, she asked me if I wanted to drink a bottle of wine. I said absolutely, and there was this great dialogue there, but I reached a decision. Do I want to kiss her? Saying no to that abruptly ended the scene, and Shadowheart's approval of me went down. I had a similar dialogue with Gale, where we connected through the weave, and at the end of it, I had to choose between getting intimate or ending that scene. This isn't to say that you can't have meaningful relationships with characters that are just your friends, but not as meaningful. At least that's what it felt like then and there. It's fine that there are things I can't see with a character if I'm not romantically involved with it, but it would be nice if I could still see more if you're friends with them, just a bit different more. Both Shadowheart and Gale are characters whose stories I have progressed. They've been characters with more to discover and bonds to strengthen, even if I didn't romance them. So I'm contradicting myself and countering my own points a little, but I still can't shake the feeling that the game would rather see me romance a character than become its best friend. It would be nice if my tab had that one character who isn't my love interest and isn't just a companion who likes me, but my best friend, the Garrus Vicarian to my shepherd. And that is the first and last time you'll ever hear me saying something that could even be interpreted as liking something about Mass Effect more than Baldur's Gate 3. Like I said in the intro, I adore Baldur's Gate 3. I don't think there's such a thing as a perfect game, because what makes a game good is subjective. Sure, there are things that are objectively bad. We'll all spot lousy sound design. We'll all be annoyed by unintuitive controls. But how good a game is beyond the level of quality it needs to not be bad is in large part subjective. The closest thing to a perfect game I've played is Hades, in the sense that it executes what it sets out to do as well as I can imagine it could across the board. But Hades is not my favorite game. Baldur's Gate 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Zelda Ocarina of Time, and Bloodborne are some games that I like more than Hades. And those are all games with things in them that I'm not very fond of. A game doesn't become your favorite by you scoring every aspect of it from 1 to 10 and the game with the highest combined score wins. A game becomes your favorite because of the way you feel when you play it. Maybe it's a game you just want to play again and again and again and again. Or it's a game that you play once and it's over, but the experience it gave you is one you'll probably never get from a game again. So my favorite game won't be yours, and your favorite game won't be your sister's favorite game, and your dad's favorite game will be trying to embarrass you in front of your friends. And that's why I think it's interesting to talk about these things. Why do I love this game? What about it don't I like, and why do I love it in spite of it? The answer to that question might turn into a future video, but this will have to do for today. Thank you for watching.